Hello, I quit Amazon Vine. Woo. What does that mean? Anyone that's been around here for an amount of time will know that I used to do really bad reviews that people hated or people loved, where I just shout about things I had to review. You know, like I can reach out in front of you and say, I had this to review, and I really did have this to review. This is Colour Coral. I used it to key my keyboard all the time, and I got it from Amazon Vine for free for review, and I had to give my honest, genuine opinion. Now I'm no longer part of Amazon Vine. I quit just now, and I quit very purposely because they're just crap. Okay? So Vine has gone through many different variations. It's now become a sort of dumping ground for horrible Chinese junk, clone things, just rubbish that you just can't get past trying to review. There used to be really good stuff. You know, I've had a TV, I've had a toaster, I've had Hoovers, all sorts of really cool stuff that I've given great reviews for. You know, my TV review is like into the tens of thousands of views here on YouTube. I'm sure it has far more on their actual website. I still use the TV every day. Yada yada yada. I've got hard drives I've reviewed. I've got all pieces of equipment I've reviewed, and it pains me to say this weekend that I was coming up to the review point and they put this silly metric on it. So the reason I have quit is that there is nothing of value to review on Amazon Vine. Nothing to review. There's sex toys, there's silly things, there's wires, 20 different USB hubs. It's like, who wants this stuff? I mean, okay, it's stuff you might need, but you have to proactively have a reason to want to have something off Vine in order to then be able to use it and give your honest review opinion. And when there aren't enough items on there, don't order it. It's a waste of carbon. It's a waste of this planet we're on. And that's more or less where I'm at, because they've changed it recently that you have to have. I was gold rated. For all these years, gold rated. I can have whatever I want, however I want, whenever I want. Gold rating, reviewed this weekend. You have to have, within the review period, reviewed 100 items. Or at least 100 items. And you have to have reviewed at least 90% of the things you request. There haven't been 100 things to request. I think I've requested just over 75 items, and even then I was stretching it. Like, I haven't even got round to reviewing one item, which was this snaffle mat from them. It came in this desiccated state, and I just haven't had a chance to review it. Puppy's got a different snaffle mat right now. That's the next one he's having when we're away from soft food back onto dry food, because he's currently losing his puppy teeth. So I have to give it time to give a review. And they just don't seem to take that on board. And so I consequently looked at it. I was demoted to silver today, and it got even worse, because though I was gold, I could request an unlimited number of items, clearly of an unlimited value. Now it says you can only request up to £82 worth of stuff. I'm like, it's just ridiculous. It's like, so I'm never going to review anything of any note again, ever. I'm never going to review a set of cases that people love the review of. I'm never going to review a TV. I'm never going to review a toaster. And you can take that of, oh, he's sick and, he's a bit stung that he's never going to get cool stuff for free. Not really. I am genuinely tired of trying and going through it. The number of times you get a review rejected with no explanation, and you then go, what's wrong with this review? And they don't tell you. They just say it's broached a guideline. So you read the guidelines, which I kind of know, and you're like, no, it didn't. And you submit it again, and it gets accepted. Or you go through it, you've written a review, and you're a native English speaker, and the person telling you it's wrong in broken, horrible English in the reply from their customer service, you're like, what? Or you'll say, hey, there's a problem with the site. And they will reply, which item is it? Tell me the item number. No. Your actual site is broken. And that brings me to the problem with this count. So I had something like, I was watching it. I was at 50-something items. Then I did 10 reviews, so I should go to 60. It went to 53. I thought, what's going off here then? It's a fixed amount of time. And then it went to 60. And okay, then it went back down to 58. What is going off here? Why is it changing? The review period is a set period. So you count the number of items requested and reviewed in that time, and if you've accepted the review, count it into my total. What's the issue? And it would go up and it would go down, it would go up and it would go down, it would go up, and eventually it would settle where it should be, but never get to the full number of counted items. I was like, well, what's the problem with that? Oh, that's because contact them and they go, oh, that's because that item was requested a week before this period started. And you're like, no, it wasn't. It just wasn't. So it was very sketchy, very broken from that point of view. The items have just massively gone down in quality, and I just don't like it. I mean, obviously we're all pressed and strained, and I presume brands are pressed and strained as well. So they're not trying to garner reviews and follows this way anymore. And what it's degenerated in is that Chinese and far off cheaper clone sellers of things have decided that the best way to get results and reviews is to just basically give away a host of the items for free. And you give a negative review and you get hounded by them. Let me tell you, you get hounded. You throw in a 1-star review and you hear from them morning, noon and night for weeks. You know, because they get given your email address. They go down and keep messaging you. And if you don't get your email address, they message you directly via the damn link to the item. Because you ordered it from them. I didn't order it from them. I ordered it from Vine. And then you've got this whole rigmarole of, do you want the review to show your Vine tag? Yeah, if I didn't, surely that's a bit vague, because you could have the item for free and then give a very positive review, but then it doesn't say, hey, this person didn't actually pay for this thing. They didn't actually have to give a positive review. And to be honest, it really annoys me. So going way, way back to when I was first invited to join Vine, it was an email once a month that came in UK time about 3 in the morning. And you got a list of the items you could have. And obviously the same email got sent to every Viner, and poof, it were all gone before you could get near it. I never saw anything for months. I think the first thing I got was a book. Yeah, it was a book about a spy thriller. And it wasn't actually that... It was all right, but it wasn't actually that good a story. It was a semi... Well, I think it was actually biographical, but it was all right. You know, it was a book. But over the time, some books came and went. A good example is Ron Johnson's The Psychopath Test. Fantastic TED Talk. Fantastic read now. But at the time, I read it and I didn't really click with it. I just didn't click with it. So you take it with a pinch of salt. But at that time, you couldn't just get things. You couldn't just ask for things. So the next iteration of Vine was a list on a web page, and everybody could see what everything else, and it depended when you saw it, and you would sit and just keep refreshing and poof, try and grab things. So of course, anyone with like a sniper tool would get the best stuff, and you never saw any of it. That soon tempered into a better version of Vine, and this is where I got a few good things. I got the TV, I got garden furniture, garden equipment, I got a Hoover. In fact, I got 2 Hoovers. I got a Zanussi Hoover and I got a Vax Hoover. And we used that Vax for years. I used a Zanussi cleaning out the cars, and I used the Vax in the house. It was a Vax Animal Hepta, and it was really, really good. And we bought 2 other Vaxes off our own back later on, as that one aged and died, because we get through Hoovers like crazy with 5 dogs. And we had a shark, and I did the review for the shark. I had a shark Hoover, the burgundy one, and we've just had... I bought the burgundy one, sorry, and I've just had the blue one for review, the next of that same model, and this blue one for review was nowhere as good as that first one I bought. So I'm trying to give that best of both worlds approach. Getting that shark Hoover review through, terrible. This has to be your own opinion. You're comparing it with something else. I'm comparing it with the exact prior model number, and it's a retro cut in like 3 different ways. The way it connected together, the way you could clean it or couldn't clean this new version, and then the way it was connected at the top were different, and they weren't as good as the original. And that's not just muscle memory, that's not just think that's, hey, I can't clean this device as well as I could clean this other one. I could take the whole roller apart in one easy step with no tools. Now I need tools and I can't take the roller out. That isn't very good when you've got 5 dogs. Bosh. There's my review. Rejected. And it's like so demoralizing. So here I am. I've quit Amazon Vine today. I've just clicked it on opt out because it's rubbish. You get nothing good. You get nothing interesting. You get hounded if you give it negative reviews. You tell them this and they get a bit uppity with you. They don't actually have English speakers reviewing the English reviews that you're giving. Obviously, there'll be German reviews. God knows what other languages they cover. I presume it's global. Some of the things were very confusing. And it was just a dumping ground of rubbish. Honestly, just a dumping ground. So, I'm out. And I will give reviews on here now and again now. Because, some of them were fun. Doing the orange review, which I will link below, was great. The TV was great. The toaster. Still use the toaster every day. 4-slice toaster. Do you think this is a cheap thing? It was 34 quid's worth online. It's done me absolutely sterling work. I can't give it as good a review as it deserves. They've lost this voice. And I honestly don't care anymore because I don't think they care. It's just a silly exercise in numbers. And therefore, I'm out.